Welcome to Business Outlook, a podcast by the Albuquerque Journal where we focus on 4 revolving themes: real estate, small business, emerging leaders, and technology.
CNM is truly one college with infinite possibilities in tech and data sciences. CNM offers programs where everyone can learn about software, apps, or how to build websites. You can also choose from AI programs and machine learning, the Internet of Things, and so much more. CNM, one college, infinite possibilities, and a proud sponsor of the Albuquerque Journal's Business Outlook.
Hello, welcome to the Business Outlook podcast. My name is Allison Carpenter, and today I'm going to be doing small businesses brought to you by CNM. So you guys are part of Grazeon. If you'd care to introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name's Matias Figueroa. I'm a co-founder here at Grazeon. We do beef jerky. And
Hi, I'm Nathan Ammerman.
Nice. So your company is officially starting the 24th of October?
Correct. Yeah, that's when we're planning on launching the product. You'll be able to buy it at our website, grazeon.co. And we're really looking forward to getting it out there to the people. And yeah, couldn't be more excited.
Absolutely. So it seems like you guys have been friends for a while. You both went to the same high school. What's your guys' story?
Yeah. Oh, man.
We actually went to preschool together,
We did.
actually.
Serendipity.
Mm-hmm. Local here, yeah. So funny. And then we were apart for a while. Yeah. No elementary school, middle school, but then we went to the same high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we re-met in high school, and we got a lot closer. And then even kind of going to college after that, we still stayed close. And then we came up with this brilliant idea, if I do say so myself, brilliant idea called Grazeon.
Nice. How'd you come up with it?
Man, so we've been a fan of this particular type of jerky for a long time. Yeah. This is like a childhood snack. I remember going snowboarding with Nate and doing all the outdoor activities and just enjoying some classic carne seca out on the slopes or in the gym or whatever it may be. And going back, and when we moved out to college, we just realized we didn't have it anymore. It was a treat that we just no longer had access to.
One of those things we took for granted. We were like, everyone's got to have this in the whole country.
Yeah.
We leave the state and we're like, not everyone has
Culture
this.
shock.
We're like, oh God, what are we doing? Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you guys go to the same college, or you just both went out of state?
Yeah, I go to Carnegie Mellon, in Pittsburgh. So now East Coast, totally different vibe. Culture shock for sure.
Oh yeah. And no carne seca.
No carne seca.
Yeah. And then I'm out in Denver, so not too far away, but
far enough away.
Far enough that we don't have it. Yeah.
So you're talking about like carne seca is a specific kind of jerky. Mm-hmm. Tell me what makes it different. Tell me what is the process.
100%. Yeah. So carne seca is a much drier version of beef jerky, much lower water content. It's actually traditionally northern Mexican and New Mexican, right next door. So yeah, it's a super popular. It's like a regional snack. Honestly, I think it's very much just for the Southwest region as of right now, and we kind of saw a problem there.
Yeah, I think mostly it's just really dehydrated. Mm-hmm. Like most of them have water content almost 5 times more than carne seca.
It's out there.
And so it's really crispy, almost like a chip. Like there's no water content. Enough where you don't need silica gel in it or anything like that because there's just no moisture to begin with. You put it in the bag and
on top of that, the shelf life, right? Like most jerky has, how long is the shelf life on?
It can be like 5-6 months depending on the bag.
And our shelf life is a year. Yeah. So it definitely stays good for a much longer period of time because we don't have the water content.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say, I think compared to the average jerky you see, which tends to be like what is that brand? It's like cheap and really thick. And
Jacklings?
Yeah, I know.
Don't get us talking about Jacklings.
Well, this is what I'm trying to get you talking about.
Don't get us started.
So Jacklings has silica in it. Tell me why we don't like Jacklings.
Man, well, I don't. What kind of lines can we cross?
Yeah, I'm not sure. To begin with, like one of the things is me and Matias are like very health conscious. We both lift a lot. We're both very athletic. So we care about like what we put into our body. So one of the things that peeves me the most about like non-carne seca or like other brands is you look on the ingredients and there's a bunch of things you don't know, a bunch of colorings, a bunch of things that like, you're just like, this is just supposed to be jerky and a flavoring. Why is it not just that? And so, Jacklings is probably the biggest culprit in that way of like, just like, huge corporate jerky where they're just putting in so many different preservatives and things that just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's also
See, this is what I wanted.
They have like a flaming hot Cheeto flavor or something.
It's
Listen, I did try it, and I was disappointed at how little it tasted like Flaming Hot Cheetos, was my review.
Are you a jerky fan?
I really like jerky. I think of jerky as being like a very Southwest thing, but maybe that's because we have like the thin jerky here, which I didn't even know the name for before this. So thank you for that.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah,
Okay. Just making sure.
absolutely.
She did her due diligence.
I did. Listen, if I'm not trying it, how can I talk to you about it?
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that is the Masega is what makes it so thin and so crisp, and then it's popularized here and in North Mexico. Yeah,
Correct, yeah.
rad. So
Very rad.
you get one of you is in college. Are you also still in college?
I am, yes, up in Denver.
Wild. I feel like being in college is a pretty like chaotic time to start a business.
Sure.
Why'd you guys decide to start it now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can speak for myself. I've always been very entrepreneurial minded. I have multiple things that I'm engaged in, even currently right now. And it's just something that's super awesome. And it interests me. Business itself interests me. And so, when the opportunity presented itself, it was something I couldn't pass up. Even with the stuff I had going on, it was too good.
Yeah. I think for me, fairly similar. I've always been entrepreneurial, like mindset-wise. And then even going to college for computer science, there's always like an itch that I really want to scratch that I don't get to. Like it's very formal, and I think entrepreneurialism is big, and you get to expand and like get to think outside of the box. And we've been doing that so much. It like definitely is so fun for me to do because it's kind of different from what my regular schooling is, and to put time into it. It's like something I just want to do myself, not something that like I'm having to.
And you learn a ton of different stuff when you engage in something like this.
Yeah. I mean, expand on that a little bit. Like, what muscles have you been like flexing that you didn't know you had?
Oh man, there's so much we've been learning just over the last few months since we started this. Geez.
I mean, the first thing is like learning how to design packaging like this.
From zero.
Yeah. We went through probably like, I don't know, maybe 100 different types.
Yeah.
And just like mapping it and like trying to figure out, how to be creative, how to do what we want to do.
And
mapping out
meeting
those things.
USDA guidelines as well.
Yeah.
There's so many little things you don't even know about until you hop in and you have to go ahead and do it. So.
Absolutely. So to get a little bit into design, you had talked about earlier, and I think it's an interesting thing to bring up, the Grazeon being misconstrued as one word.
That is like one thing. It's like when you're developing a brand name, you want it to be like recognizable and you want it to be like universal. Everyone understands it. And like to us, we're like Grazeon. It makes sense. We've run into a couple people saying like Grazeon or something like Pantheon.
Yeah.
Spelling's similar.
Yeah.
If you see the spell, like if you see it in an email, maybe it's hard to say or like hard to understand.
You split it up, right?
Yeah.
And then even on our bags, I mean, that's the reason why, I don't know if you can see, but the orange on the ON at the end, just try and separate the words as much as we can because really if you're saying it wrong, you don't get the meaning of it.
Yeah.
And so it needs to be said correctly.
Yeah. What is the meaning of it? Why'd you go with Grazeon?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. Grazeon, really for us, to graze for us in this context is exploring, continually exploring. And so whether that be your passion or whatever it is, we want people to just continue exploring and keep doing what they love.
Got you. I thought maybe it was one of those like because I knew you guys were like fitness minded, like you gotta be protein hitting throughout the day, gotta be Grazeon.
That's another thing.
That's the other thing.
Protein hitting is real.
Yeah, we used to care a lot about macros for like bodybuilding and stuff, and that's why we loved beef jerky back here. It's like such an easy snack to just eat a whole bag, and then you're like, wait, how much protein did I just eat? And you're like, oh, that's awesome. And so that's why we think like it's also a super marketable product because a lot of people don't even understand how nutrient dense it is. And then you like put that on the front of the bag and people are like, I hand this bag to so many people who are like, are you serious? 55 grams of protein? That's crazy.
Yeah, 55 in our salted and 53 in our green chili flavor.
Crazy good.
Unreal.
So obviously green chili flavor because New Mexico. Have you thought about like expanding your flavor profiles?
Absolutely, yeah. That's something we're looking to do in the near future. But we figured this is a great base and a great place to launch off of.
Absolutely. And so to get a little into like the process that you'd mentioned earlier, like how do you even produce beef jerky? Like how does that work?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the photo I sent you. So when was that? 2 days ago? 2 days ago, we toured our co-packer's facility, and he kind of just walked us through the processes of making this kind of jerky, and it was super cool to see. I know Nate's more technically minded. I bet he could tell you a lot more than I could. But really what we do is it's a top round with cap off, so it's a super lean cut of meat from the get-go, and then they even do some trimming afterwards, and they go ahead and trim it up, slice it very thin, and then from there it's a season and dehydrate process. And Nate, do you want to expand on the dehydrating process?
Yeah.
'Cause
So they first like coat it in the flavoring, whatever the flavoring is, and then they put it on these racks and put it in these large dehydrators. I think it's 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and they sit in there for about 3 or 4 hours. Like it's like just common convection, and it gets crispy quickly. I mean, if you stopped maybe halfway through the process, you'd have like kind of more regular type of beef jerky, but you go all the way and you get that really crispy, and then it's also stronger throughout the whole thing.
yeah, and it's crispy without the char too.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. There's like it's like you're not heating it, you're not cooking it, you're drying it.
Right.
You're like convection
Just
cooking.
sucking every bit of moisture out of it.
Yeah.
Nice. And so to circle back to a thing you said earlier that I think kind of ties in with like visiting your packaging is you mentioned like this opportunity like happened and you couldn't pass it up.
Yeah.
What is that opportunity?
Yeah. So, as I said, I've been eating this kind of jerky my whole life. So once I moved to Denver and I didn't have it, every moment I could come back to Albuquerque, I was stocking up. But then I'd run out. And I mean, I could go through so many bags of this stuff. And so I was just at our co-packer's facility, and I realized they offered private label. It's something they had been doing. And so I just went ahead and got in contact with the owner, and we had some good conversations. I think he saw our vision. He liked our vision. And so he hopped right on board. So...
We reached out to other people too, and we thought about different avenues to go, and I think the biggest thing is like this one is our favorite. Like they make it just how we like it, and so it's kind of interesting how we went on other endeavors, and it like fate just kind of turned itself around, and then we end up back here, and we're like, okay, darn,
Yeah,
like
not a
sounds
big
good
deal to us. It's our
Yeah.
favorite anyways.
Yeah, that's who we hope to go with.
Nice. So was there like a time period in which you were just eating like a ton of jerky because you had to like try and make sure it was what you wanted?
Yeah. And so, I mean, we are like, I already knew all the brands here. And like, that was the biggest thing is like, we want to do it from New Mexico, like where we grew up and like the stuff that we grew up eating. And so there's a bunch of different brands here. We've tried them all. And so it's kind of like, we know which one's the best. We know which ones aren't. And then when we're talking in like business deals, it kind of reflected that. It's just like, oh, the people who are doing this well are very organized, and some people
Very professional, yeah. And that's something you're going to run into if, when you're dealing with co-packers in Albuquerque and New Mexico, you're going to have different levels of like professionalism. And for us, that was super important. That was something we looked for. And so when we landed on our current co-packer, we were super, super happy just to have someone super professional to work with. And we think we're going to have a really great partnership.
Yeah.
Nice. So I looked at your website a little bit and saw that it was definitely like aesthetically minded towards myself, like things that I saw and I was like, yeah. So it feels to me at least like you guys, because you're selling this online, what's kind of been like that model for you? How do you like keep up with trends and keep like, what is your marketing?
Yeah, I'm super glad you point out keeping up with trends.
Yeah.
So something we think we're going to do a lot better than some of the other brands here in New Mexico is just that marketing aspect of it. We know we have a great product, but it's can we market it in a way that it appeals to like the urban youth? Can we go ahead and put a fun twist on it? Something that, I mean, if you look at almost every beef jerky company, just their logos are usually very similar. It's usually that cow or the
cowboy,
right, whatever it is.
Thing.
And so we wanted to kind of veer off from that and create something a little more fun and a little more appealing to a younger audience. Yeah.
There's definitely like a box that every single brand fits in where it's like old Western, old guy, like, yeah. You don't even know what you're eating, but you'll eat it. And it's like, okay, sure. But it's like, you're missing such a large demographic. I mean, I know so many people who like the exact same food as me, like in college, and like we all get along, we're all lifting, and we all are very conscious of our health and stuff. And they've never even heard of this stuff. And you're like, yeah, like really crispy beef jerky. You've never had that? And they're like, the what? I'm like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, it's like, cracker
and just
dry.
The protein per ounce. I mean, on the gym bro topic, the protein per ounce is great. I mean, I think we have one of, if not the highest protein per ounce on the market for beef jerky, just because of how dry it is. I mean, per ounce, you're getting a ton of jerky.
Meat. Yeah. And so in terms of marketing, it's so marketable. It's healthy, it's high protein. It's just being shown to the wrong people. and just needs to be,
And not in the right way.
yeah, you need to just pivot.
I will say I am familiar with beef jerky being just that like one cowboy pose.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like tipping his hat on a cow, and you're
Exactly.
just, or like, or on a horse in the Midwest with a tumbleweed going by. It's like, what? Wow.
Yeah, it's what you pick up when you're
Yeah.
like on a long drive
Yeah.
at like a gas station in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Or like you tell someone in California like to look at this, and they're like, we're going back to like the gold rush. And you go to the East Coast and you tell them, something in Southwest, they're like, what is this cowboy thing? Like, what are you talking about? What are you eating?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your like little smiley cow logo because I do feel like it is pretty unique and I was pretty struck by it. Like, how did you come upon it? What was your
man.
design process?
Well, I tell you, it wasn't always that. We went through a few renditions of that, just like the packaging, and we just weren't hitting what we were hoping to hit. At first, I mean, when I developed the first logo, it was that old cowboy, like, and it just wasn't what we were going for, right? And then when we brought Nate on, Nate has so much AI experience, and so we were able to go in and kind of give particular prompts to the AI models, and eventually we pulled something very similar to this out of it. I don't know if you want to expand on that a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, I think like the biggest thing about being a modern company is like using modern technology. And so we're sitting there vision boarding and trying to like say what we want. We have like pictures of stuff we want. And it's just like, okay, what's really good at taking in data and like giving us more data to work with? It's like, okay, let's put this into an AI model and see what it gives us. And we went through rendition, and it's just giving us more ideas. And then we ended up being like, okay, we want to be recognizable. We want to have like that modern minimalist kind of design feel. That's like what's big now in design. And so it was kind of like, okay, but we want the cow, we want that sort of jerky like idea, but we want an icon, something recognizable, like brand building. And then I was like, okay, let's just do a simple, minimal little cow. I don't know.
I
It's
think
cute.
what's important too is just putting a fun twist on it. I think that's maybe something you notice. It's a lot more fun. It's smiley. It makes you laugh a little bit, and that's kind of our goal there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it strikes a nice balance between like a little dorky but very cute, and you're like, aw, he's ugly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He was like a little thumb.
But yeah, I think something that I was curious about is you guys seem to be like, you have different majors, you're going in different directions. Like, where do you think this is going to take the company in the future?
Yeah, I think it's really important that we both have different backgrounds. I think they mesh well together for what we're trying to do. And I think, without Nate's skill set, we wouldn't have what we have. And without my skill set, we wouldn't have what we have. So it's a blend of both of us and the two different knowledge bases coming together and trying to put something together.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I'm definitely learning so much from Matias in terms of like he's so business oriented. It makes things so much easier because there's a lot of things that I don't want to do. I like the technical side of things, and Matias will go in and like absolutely rule the world in those things. And it's like, this is awesome. Like it really works.
Oh, nice. Oh, you make me blush.
Aww.
But yeah, are you guys concerned that like in the future when you graduate, like that you're just going to go in like different directions?
Not at all. I mean, honestly, this is something that's kind of been keeping us together here, and it's not the only thing keeping us together, right? Like, we're good buddies behind the scenes, regardless. So
this isn't an act for the camera.
no, we're not pretending, I promise. I actually like
swear.
this guy. Believe it or not.
Yeah, me
But no,
too.
we really do see something here, and we see an opportunity ripe for exploring, and so we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that and take it as far as we can.
Yeah, so when it drops on the 24th, where can people go? Where can they find this?
21st, right?
21st. Yeah, I think so. Right now, once we're fully open and we're shipping totally in the U.S. for now, soon to be expanded, you can go to grazeon.co. That's our domain. And then also, if you have a bag, on the back is a QR code. We're trying to like promote like sales in
Scan
terms
that through
of
the camera.
if you have it. Yeah, you can scan that code. It'll take you right to the site, and we try to make it a seamless process. You can order quickly within just a couple clicks. You can have it on the way.
Yeah, everything's streamlined. I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed, our web is very different from a typical website. It's one page. It's all very streamlined. Obviously, that's going to be hard to maintain when we add more flavors and what it may be. But that was the goal. Just keep it as streamlined as possible. There's not even a cart. You go in, you click what you want, and you're out. It's super quick, super seamless, and we want to make it that way.
Nice. I think this is my final question. Have you guys considered doing like a subscription model? I feel like that's very like trendy right now, like Dollar Shave Club and stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely thinking about doing that. where you can just kind of sign up with how many bags, like, because I mean, me and Matias, like, I have like a maintenance of jerky I want in a month. So like if I want 20 bags, that sounds about good for me. I'll order that on a subscription base, and that's coming up. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast. I've really appreciated having you guys here. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself just one last time for the viewers and what you guys do.
Sure. My name is Matias Figueroa. I am the co-founder and CEO here at Grazeon. And just real quick, you can go to the at right here at grazeon.co and follow our Instagram, LinkedIn, and then the website is grazeon.co as well.
Yeah. And I'm Nathan Ammerman. I'm also co-founder and chief technology officer here at Grazeon. Yeah. Fuel your graze.
Fuel your graze.
Fuel your graze.
Thank you for joining us. You can find this episode and all our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you enjoy our podcasts, please like and subscribe, and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us continue to bring you more content like this. See the show notes for a discount on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading local news source.